Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna talk about the none other than Nancy Pelosi herself. As obviously we know that she's the Speaker of the House, and also she is the representative of the 12th district in California, San Francisco. But her position, the 12th district, is being challenged by none other than a progressive named Shahid Buttar. Shahid Buttar is a Democratic Socialist and obviously is running to replace her. And according to The Hill, it says Democrat running against Pelosi criticizes coronavirus relief bills, tax cuts. California congressional candidate Shahid Buttar, who's running against Speaker Nancy Pelosi in the state's primary election, criticized the coronavirus relief bill for giving a tax break to billionaires. Quote, at the same time that the coronavirus stimulus package allowed a $1,200 one-time stimulus payment for some Americans, 40,000 millionaires got tax breaks over $1 million, Buttar told Hill TV on Tuesday. Buttar noted that a $1,200 check was roughly about 2 weeks' worth of rent in San Francisco, which is Pelosi's 12th district, almost entirely encompasses. So, Kenneth, what do you think about Shahid Buttar? What is his chances against Nancy Pelosi? As you say yourself, that she went out directly and criticized her, and he's been doing it for a while on social media.
So he has like maybe like a 2% chance of beating her.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I mean, thing is that it's the 12th district. It's close to Silicon Valley. I think the average median income is over 100 grand. I mean, how many of those people would have actually seen that $1,200 check, right?
Yeah.
Like after you hit, 99,000 as a single person, you're not gonna get that check. So, $1,200 check, yeah, it's abysmal. But if you were gonna get zero, who cares, right? At the same time, uh, it's really close to Silicon Valley. A lot of startups there, a lot of people, you know, god tier egos. Uh, they they probably don't like Nancy Pelosi, but they probably think that, hey, good enough. She represents me because this is the same. We're talking most of Joe Biden's contingent, right? Was white suburbanites, right? That's the 12th district.
Yeah.
If they like Joe Biden, they like Nancy Pelosi. White suburbanites is the 12th district.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case.
Yeah, so chances are the progressive speak probably won't work. Progressivism tends to work better in lower income, uh, middle class, lower middle class, obviously all the lower class um, areas. And this is just not one of those. These are solid upper middle class areas. It's a solid upper middle class area, higher class area. It's just I don't think he's gonna have the same impact, and I don't think he's gonna win as a result.
I mean, right now, obviously, because he's a unknown candidate, and until almost the last dates, he has started getting some momentum now because he directly is criticizing. He's actually the first Democrat to come out and publicly and criticize Nancy Pelosi. Obviously, there's a lot of people already doing that, right? But he's the first Democrat to do so just in not just in social media, but directly. And I think based on the fact that she's been doing a very bad job, not just handling the situation with the economic stimulus package, and not doing enough to criticize the Republicans, as well as choose to bring anything or anything that is solid to the table for Democrats or for the people who are asking for certain issues to be at least talked about or done something about, right? And most of the times when she's asked about why you think these things are not being solved or not being brought out into the table, she goes on and starts giving you the point or the talking point that most Republicans are given, right?
Yeah.
So
Not only that, but she always kind of makes excuses to, oh, well, this takes time. It's really difficult. You got to blah blah. And the thing is that that doesn't stop you from proposing it. You we propose crazy things, right? And I think that I mean the Republicans proposed getting rid of Obamacare, dozens of times, like not just once. So it's like you could propose it, you just have to, want it. I don't think she wants it because, like I said, the more tax breaks, tax deductions, stimulus money they give to wealthy people, the more money she gets because she's in that category, right? And so I'm not surprised that she doesn't push for it. Uh, like I said, $1,200 for every other person made under 99,000, and for the businesses who got bailed out, they got trillions of dollars, weak oversight. Um, I don't know if they put the provision in where I don't know if it passed where they couldn't buy their stocks back. I think it did pass, and you see it all the time. I mean, these companies like Apple, they didn't get a bailout, but companies like Apple openly go out there and say, "Hey, it's not our problem. The United States issue is not our issues," and yet, these companies always are the first ones with their hand out in line. They say, "Hey, no socialism. Socialism is bad," but they have no problem taking it for themselves. I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, if you have Jeff Bezos, should you have free college? He'll probably say no. But if you say, hey, cool, should you pay taxes? He'll probably say no, which makes no sense, right? But he wants to talk about the system being fair. It's like it just doesn't make any sense. And so when you talk
yeah,
about Nancy Pelosi,
yeah,
she's not going to push for anything because, like I said, she probably was one of those people who didn't see that check. Now, in fact, I don't think anyone in the Senate probably saw that check because they're all probably too rich to see that check.
not even close. I mean, the thing is, I think she might have the effect of Donald Trump. Obviously, she's well known amongst the Democratic Party, amongst most liberals, right? And she might, right now, I think we only seen like maybe one ad or one video or her coming out and saying, "Look, the Republicans are running against me. Please elect me or give me money for my reelection." There's only one video, all right,
Right.
and I think most people don't even know that she's going for reelection. Most of the
Yeah.
times, obviously, since there's no one really competing against her because she's an incumbent, she gets reelected all the time, right?
I
Because
mean, I would just say that. I would say also when it comes to things that are not the presidential race, most people don't really turn out. Most people only really turn out for the president, and that's about it. That's where you have the highest voter turnout. Other than that, it's
yeah,
pretty pitiful.
yeah, that's what I
Most people
said.
don't
That's
even
what I said.
vote.
If she did, would do a great job, like maybe like Alexandria Garza Cortez did against the incumbent and her district, right, in New York. That she would did a wonderful job to go out there and actually make a case for herself with most of the community. And
That's
if she did were to do almost the same thing, I think he might have a chance to do that. But we also talking about Nancy Pelosi, right? She's very popular and she is very like. All
that's the
right,
thing.
so
Not she's not very popular. She's not very like no.
popular is that she's well known.
The thing is like how many people actually know their representative, their representative in Congress, right? How many people actually know in the 12th district that they even are in the 12th district and that she represents them? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I
like
understand what you're saying.
a lot of people don't know their congressperson, their senator, their mayor, their governor. Like they don't even know their names and they don't even know what they look like. So even scratch the idea that she represents them accurately. How many of those people in the 12th district even know that she is their congresswoman?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I see. That's why I'm saying like she has a chance of losing for the simple fact that if the other guy brings actually people to enough people to vote for him, then he might have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, think I think as an incumbent, you have two jobs. That's one informing, not an incumbent, but as a challenger, you have two jobs. That's informing the people of the politics in your area, of when's the date to vote, who's your representative, the polling places, everything, and uh, actually mounting a viable argument against the person you're challenging. Because, like I said, you go out there, most people don't know the representative. They're gonna be like, "Oh, no, I hate Nancy Pelosi, but those people need to vote her out." And it's like, and then you run into someone like, "You're the person who has to vote her out." It's like, what? So it's just like, how much of that do you run into as the challenger? Because as the incumbent, the people who are well informed in politics, right? Who already know all the stuff I just laid out, they they already voted for the incumbent, right? That's how they know. That's why they don't care, because they're like, okay, cool. I know this is who I'm going to vote for, and so it becomes a really difficult challenge. That's another reason why I don't think he's going to
I mean,
beat her.
that's what I said. Like, if you gather enough, if you gather enough people around you that are willing to go out there and vote or maybe change their mind, but it's gonna be hard because we also going through a huge lockdown right now because of the pandemic. So the only way he could make a case for himself is within the social media and the internet, which is what he's doing right now. He's going, as you saw, he's going to the Hill, the Rising a channel and promote himself or try to people get to know him. And also, I see him a lot doing a lot of podcast interviews and whatnot within the independent, with independent media. So
I mean, I
maybe
think
if he,
I think
uh,
one of the strong things he needs to do is he just needs to, because right now he's doing all that stuff. I already think that's too much. Like I said, he's going on things where he's hitting the entire country, right? The Hill is broadcast all over the United States. A lot of those podcasts are broadcast on the all over the United States. I think what he should have done, and I think what he should do, is he just needs to sit down and just stay in his district. Just because those are the only people who can vote for him. All right, the only ones who can. Right, like stay in your district, fight the fight. Pass out flyers if you have to yourself. Get on the soapbox, get it done. And then if you do get it done and you knock off Nancy Pelosi, then worry about, the rest of the country. Worry about,
yeah, I mean, the other reason why he's is doing it because obviously you want people to also promote who you are, which I think a lot of people are already doing that. All
I think
right,
that's the thing, is that
so
I feel like he's spreading himself too thin. That's what I think it is. Like,
well,
he's just spreading himself too thin.
well,
Because like I said, the only people who will vote for him is the people who are in that district. If you're not in that district, there's nothing you can do, right? You just literally nothing. Like you can talk to your friends who are in that district maybe, but the thing is that how many people are going to do that? People who with their friends are usually in the same district, or a district very close by. Like if I were to ask you personally, Ray, how many friends do you have in San Francisco?
I mean, yeah, obviously, I know the point you're trying to
Right?
make, but I mean, a lot of like political activists like Sean King has actually been sponsoring him on his all his social media outlets, and
Yeah, of
it
course.
could work. Obviously, he's a well known activist within the African American community, and also most progressives actually follow him, but I know what you mean. It's gonna be hard to beat an incompetent, especially so the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Of
And
course.
we can only wish for the best. We want change, especially someone who describes himself as a democratic socialist. Someone who, obviously, if you go to his website, supports most of the Bernie Sanders policies. He's very progressive. So we can only see we could expect him to lose because he's going to one of the biggest incumbents in the Democratic Party right now. But we can only wish for the best, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, I want to win, but I said it's not. I have no say in that fight. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's gonna be hard. I think we could have said the same thing about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez back then when she was running for, in the 14th district of New York against one of the most powerful incumbents, the Democratic Party during that time, and she was able to overcome him. Right? But during that time, we were not doing a pandemic. Right?
But the thing about that race was that so when it comes to Crowley's, that's his last name, I believe.
Yeah.
Crowley's district, one, he didn't really do anything for them, and two, the demographics actually changed so drastically since he was in office that I don't think he really knew how much it changed. So by the time that ALC came along, she undercut him both by one, paying attention to the constituents that he wasn't paying attention to, and two, being a part of the demographic that it shifted to so drastically. So she ended up hitting him on two fronts that actually mattered the most. When it comes to Nancy Pelosi, though, now if you were to just talk about ethnicity, now the second largest ethnicity in that district is Asian, which he would fit into. But the first one is white. Nancy Pelosi obviously fits that. Second is they said they're very wealthy. It's a very wealthy area. And so again, Nancy Pelosi being wealthy, she fits that. So in this case, I said she's an accurate representation of that district. So it's not exactly the same as AOC's race where Joseph Crowley was almost the exact opposite of his district. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be hard for him to make a case. Obviously, more than just the fact that it's Nancy Pelosi who we're talking about, and she has done a terrible job as a Speaker of the House to bring in the issues that people want to see on the table. So we can only wish for Shahid to do the good job. Maybe he could make at least a name for himself, and he could maybe rerun later on. And once we go out there and make a case. But I guess for you, we already heard that it's gonna be hard for him to be an incumbent, Nancy Pelosi, in a district that is mostly wealthy.
Right.
And
that particular incumbent in that particular area is it's a very, very, very strong position to be in. Okay. I think you would have to, if you wanted to actually beat Nancy Pelosi, I think you would have to get her out of the speaker spot. Yeah, you would have to get her out of the speaker spot, and then you would have to, I guess in the Democratic Party, because identity politics is so strong, make the case that she doesn't represent, the demographics of the Democratic Party anymore. Because then once she loses her, her spot on the podium, then you can have a higher chance of beating her because she lost a lot of power essentially.
Yeah. I mean, plus I think she's almost at the age of retirement, so it would make yeah, but so it makes sense for people to like say, "Oh, let me vote for someone who's younger than her." But someone else might pop out, someone else who's like established, pro-establishment, pro-wealthy, and that would challenge not just her, but Shahid Buttar. But the case right now is just him against her. We'll see what happens in the upcoming days. I wish him the best, bro. If you're watching this, I wish you the best. Hopefully you're able to be here because I'm rooting for you. I think we both are. And please, guys, let us know what you think about him. Do you know about him anyways? Now I'm sure you do if you stay up all the way over here. And please let us know what you think about this segment. What do you think about Nancy Pelosi should be kicked out of her district? Not just Speaker of the House, because I think she's terrible. I don't know. What do you think? Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Until next time.